talking to talk about. There's more said when you open your closed mouth. This mind reading's just weakening our time frame. Yeah, someone to know it all. Are you done pulling cords on the cold call? You spend a weekend doing reading into mind games. Yeah. But now I ain't listening. There's too much bitterness under the covers, trying to keep from going insane. Yeah. I'm just a second-hand citizen. I'm missing that medicine. You're too damn innocent to change. Yeah. We'll shake the shores of islands, but we'll be waking up with sirens. We'll stay the course we intend, depending how we spend our mileage. We'll have struggles, I know you'll get spent if you always wanna see me smiling. Say we're bored where we've been. That's why we're breaking up the silence. We're breaking up the silence. We're breaking up the silence. Yeah, there's a whole lot of faking going on. Pull up a stool, I can sing you a cold song. This cold preaching, I can keep it going whole days. Yeah, maybe longer if I put my mind to it. Windshield, I can put a sign through it. Cold pizza, turntable spinning, cold train. Yeah. Now you're not listening. There's too much bitterness under the covers, trying to keep from going insane. Yeah. I'm just a second-hand citizen. I'm missing that medicine. You're too damn innocent to change. To change, you know we can change. Yeah. We'll shake the shores of islands, but we'll be waking up with sirens. Just stay the course we intend, depending how we spend our mileage. We'll have struggles, I know you'll get spent if you always wanna see me smiling. Just say we're bored where we've been. That's why we're breaking up the silence. We'll shake the shores of islands. We'll still be waking up with sirens. Just stay the course we intend, depending how we spend our mileage. We'll have struggles, I know you'll get spent if you always wanna see me smiling. Just say we're bored where we've been, baby. Just say we're bored where we've been, baby. Just say we're bored where we've been. That's why we're breaking up the silence. But breaking up the silence. Breaking up the silence.
Hello, everybody. How are you today? Nice to see you all here. I'm Katie Zed. Let's just check to make sure everything's working because I usually don't have my stuff together. Today, it seems I do. Crazy. Anyway, so I'm Katie Zed, and normally I don't offer trigger warnings because this is a true crime channel. So if you are here, I assume you're here to hear about some true crime, and there should be trigger warnings on every true crime because, true crime's true crime. Just so you know, today I'm telling the story of a gentleman named Robert Hernandez, and he happens to be married to somebody that some of you may know named Frauditor Reaper. And I did reach out to Frauditor Reaper. Her name's Tara. I reached out to her and we did a little interview that I will play during this live stream because I am trying to cover this in a way that is telling kind of both sides of the story. Not both sides, there's only one. It's one story. It's what happened. What happened is what happened. But I just wanted to let all of you know that no matter what you've done in your life, we're all sinners, and no matter how big or how small the sin is, you can seek redemption from God, and he's the only one that can forgive. So with that being said, I'm going to get into this story. Hopefully you all enjoy it. I guess I should say hi to you guys in the chat first. Let's pull the chat up. I do keep my chat on the screen, so please be nice. I do have some mods in here. Mods, quick message to you guys. Same rules apply as always on this channel. We don't ban people here. We let people speak. There's two rules. No blasphemy. Also, no smut. Don't talk about sex stuff, and don't take the Lord's name in vain. That's it. Them's the rules. If you start spamming the chat, though, I will have my mods time you out. Wow, I'm kind of nervous. There's more people here than normally is here, guys. I wonder why. We'll say hi to you guys. Let me pull the chat up on my end. Chat. Let's go up to the top first. We will say hello to the Atomus, Dog Detective, News Now Enemy. News Now Enemy, I'm glad you could make it. And in case you guys don't know, News Now Enemy is my brother, and he's here. Jammin' Jet, always good to see you. He's here all the time. Felcax, probably saying that wrong. Pat, Only Frauds. Joshua Lee, talking shiz. Shiz is in the chat. Zed Zippy, there's another Zed here? I'm the only Zed. Nice to have you, Zed Zippy. Joshua Lee, good to see you. If I miss anybody, I'm sorry. I'm not used to the chat going by so fast. Oh, Yo Mama is here. And just so y'all know, Yo Mama is my mama. So be on your best behavior. My mom's here, guys. Keep it cool. Keep it cool. My mom's here. Delete Libs. Sammy girl. Good to see you, Sammy. Jerry's here. Flo's here. Colin. Number two is actually hanging out in the background, throwing stuff up on the screen for me because I need a producer, and I nominated her to produce for me today. Little Chihuahua, Big World, good to see you. Want to make sure I don't miss anybody. I'm going to miss people. I definitely will. Pat, I already said hi to you. I think that might be it. If more people show up, I will pop, or I will have number two pop their names up on the screen. Oh, Reaper's here. Nice to see you, Reaper. I'm so glad you agreed to talk to me about this because, like I said in the beginning, I want to tell the complete story. Norfolk Pokey District in the house. Bad. Hopefully you're not bad. Good is better than bad. Frog, UK Transparency. Walter, I'm assuming from Texas. Walter, Texas. Kelly's here. Smith W. Nice to see you, Smith. Smith hangs out a lot. I like it when Smith is here. He's a funny dude in the chat. I assume he's a dude. Might be wrong. Juggernaut Jared Reed. All right, I'm going to get into the story. Let me get my notes up. So a few months ago, I'm going to start with the backstory. I met Frauditor Reaper on a panel show, which was Big Wes's channel. And so we met and we talked offline a little bit, and she told me about her husband. Just so you guys know, I'm not going to be reading the chat so much until afterwards. So if you really want to get my attention, I don't know. Number 2 is reading the chat. So if there's something I need to pay attention to, pop it up on the screen for me. I've never had this issue before where stuff is going too fast. So I met Frauditor Reaper in a live stream, and she told me a little bit about her husband. My co-host is moving around. That's Xena, my co-host, by the way. She's with us all the time. She told me about her husband, and I was very interested in the story. So she knew I had a true crime channel, which is why she told me. And then I kind of forgot about that a little bit. And then one of my members, I used to be monetized, guys. YouTube hates me. I used to have channel members. Hopefully I will have channel members again shortly. I did do the, appeal and all that stuff, but YouTube doesn't like the true crime genre. So I get demonetized a lot. So one of my channel members brought this case to my attention and told me that the court documents for it were out there online somewhere, and he got them to me. That was Jerry, actually. He told me I could say who it was. So Jerry was a channel member of mine when I was monetized, and he sent me the information to get the court documents, which I did. The court documents that I found online, though, were redacted, and I wanted to make sure that it was okay for me to have the court documents and that somebody didn't just put them out there where they weren't supposed to be public. So I contacted the police department or the sheriff's office myself and requested the records, and they did send them to me. So I'm only going to go over stuff that was actually sent to me, but when I put it up on the screen, I'm using the redacted version because I didn't have time to go through and redact the version that I received, or I forgot about it until like 10 minutes ago, actually. So I noticed that the murderer in this case, his social security number and birth date and, people's last names, all this sort of stuff is on these records. So I don't want to put that out there. So I will use the redacted version when I put it on screen. Okay. Little disclaimer. I'm kind of nervous right now because I usually have like 20 people here, and there's more than double that right now. So you all are seeing me for the first time, and I'm afraid I'm going to make a fool of myself. So just, I'm going to give myself a little pat on the back. I'm doing okay so far. We're going to get through it, guys. Oh, by the way, at the end, I'm going to take calls. So hang out for that. And if there's anything that I missed or anything that you want to correct me on or anything that you just want to say, like just put out there in the world, you're welcome to call in. Just remember the rules. No blaspheme, no blaspheming the Lord's name, no sex stuff. That's it. Anything else, fair game. Also, if you do make a donation, I would appreciate it. I'm only going to say this once now and once towards the end. But when you make a donation through the Buy Me a Coffee, we'll put that up here, or Subscribestar, or any of the things that's in the description below, Xena, my co-host, gets a milk bone. And right at the end of the last show, Major Victory did make a donation and I missed it. So I'm going to give Xena a milk bone now, and then we'll do it. We'll do the thing, guys. All right, Xena. Come here. Sit. Do a shake. Do a touch. Good girl. All right, so that's from Major Victory from the last stream. Thank you, Jam and Jet. Jam and Jet's here all the time, so he could probably see how nervous I am right now. Notes. I need notes. This story takes place on December 1st, 1996, and it starts... And obviously, there's a backstory to it, but at approximately 1:30 a.m., Robert Hernandez entered Genevieve Finn's home through an unlocked living room window. Now, this house is a one-story house. It's wood-framed. I have a picture of it here. It's a wood-framed, one-story house. And it's on the corner of Rio Grande and West 1st Avenue in Campwood, Texas. I have in my notes where I'm getting this information from. So I'm just going to say, after some of the things that I say, that this is from the description of residence, which is section 1 of the police report. This was a planned attack, guys. And the reason we know this is because when the police showed up afterwards, they found that the tires of the person that lived there, Genevieve, her tires were slashed, the phone lines were cut, and there was kidnapping supplies in the backpack that Mr. Hernandez had with him. In the backpack were 2 back braces, a waist support, a black waist support, a white belt with Michelle. Now, Michelle is the name of the ex-wife. I'm only going by first names. I'm not using people's last names. That's what I always do on my channel, and that's what I'm going to do this time. So Michelle is Robert Hernandez's ex-wife, and there was a belt with her name written on it. There was also a roll of elastic bandage, which I assume to mean an ace bandage, and a safety pin, and a roll of tape as well. There were pre-written letters that we'll get back to later, and also a to-do list all inside this backpack. And this is from the continuing investigation part of the police report, section 9. On this to-do list, it was like bullet pointed. It says, fuck her royally. I usually don't swear on my channel, but I read it. F her royally. Restrain her. Stay until Ginny shows up, then leave. No later than 6 o'clock. We've seen a lot of this where criminals make a list or a to-do list. I know there's been several cases that we've talked about here where they write down their crimes. Why are you writing down your crimes, guys? Like, this is not a how to get away with crime channel. However, don't write down your crimes. It's crazy. Don't do that. There's a case that I'm researching right now, actually, where they wrote down the crimes. It's have you guys heard of Luca Magnotta? He's the Don't F with Cats online guy. Yeah, he wrote down his crimes too. Kind of crazy. That's coming up on this channel, Luca Magnotta. If you haven't looked into that one, go look on Netflix. There's a documentary, a docuseries called Don't F with Cats, and it's very good. I highly suggest it. Little break just to say hi to Salacious. She's here. She is one of my mods, and I saw you came in a little late, so don't ban anybody. There's a lot more people here than normal. Don't ban anybody. Well, you know the rules. So Michelle and Robert were separated the day before the attack on November 30th, 1996. And according to witness statements, she left him because he hit her. Now, according to Robert's current wife, Fraudor the Reaper, he threw her out because she was cheating on him. Either way, I mean, it doesn't really matter why they were separated, but that's one of the things that kind of differed from the police report than to what Tara and I talked about. So police report says that he hit her and she left, and then the interview you'll see later, we dug into that a little bit, and it was because she was cheating on him. The next day, early in the morning hours of December 1st, 1996, Robert Hernandez broke into the home where he, through the living room window, like I said earlier, and he was hiding in the kitchen. And that's where Genevieve found him hiding. He was wearing camouflage from head to toe. He had on camouflage pants, a light brown shirt, a camouflage fatigue top, like a long sleeve, kind of like my husband was in the military, so the undershirts that they have, like the light brown undershirt and then a long sleeve like BTU type of long sleeve button up. He also had on olive green socks, so literally head to toe. He had a mask on as well. When police recovered his clothing, everything was covered in blood. Even his watch had blood on it. So every single thing except his underwear, I believe, which were black and red, if anybody cares. The only thing that wasn't camouflage. His watch, everything had blood on it. From a little blood to a lot of blood. She tried to, when the attack began, she tried to flee into the bedroom. And this is just what I'm gathering from reading this police report over and over again. It seems like it started in the kitchen and she tried to run into the bedroom, which was just off of the, kitchen. The bedroom was. Here, we'll get you down in here so you can see. So it's a smaller house. It's like I said in the beginning, it's a wood framed. It looks kind of like a trailer, but the description doesn't say that it's a mobile home or a trailer home or anything like that. But the kitchen and dining room were like one area combined, and then there was a bedroom just off of the kitchen dining room area. She tried to go into the bedroom, and then that's where he attacked her. It seems as if... Now, all of these things that I'm saying, I've read the police report, and it doesn't say what happened because nobody really knows what happened because Genevieve, sadly passed away, and there is a statement from Robert what happened. But it doesn't go into details like this. But the way the blood splatter and things like that are, it seems as if he attacked her in the bedroom, and he had brought 2 knives with him, and he stabbed her with both of those knives. Both of those knives ended up being not only broken, like the handle detached from the blade, but the blades were bent as well. And I know from other cases that I've gone over on this channel, when the blade bends like that, it's because he's hitting bone. It might have gone all the way through to the floor, but in order for the blades to bend like that, it has to hit something hard. So it seems that he was stabbing her so hard and he was hitting bone, which is why the handles broke, the blades bent, all of that. Once both of those knives were broken and he couldn't use them anymore, there's drag marks in the blood, which makes me think he dragged her back into the kitchen where he just grabbed kind of whatever he could find. At this point, he grabs 2 more knives, attacks her with that. A potato peeler and a can opener were both found with the blood on them. The potato peeler was out on the neighbor's driveway or whatever. So it seems pretty likely that she was also stabbed with a potato peeler. Now, in the description of my video, I also said that the can opener, and the reason I said that is because there was a can opener found with blood on it. Frauditor Reaper emailed me just before I went live and said that she did not like the description that I put in this live stream because there's nothing that says that a can opener was used to stab her, which is true. However, it seems kind of weird to me that that's something to be concerned about. First of all, this is a YouTube video, and I'm out of tissue. That's going to be an issue real quick because my allergies are going crazy. But it seems kind of weird that that's the thing to email me about because somebody is dead. And we know for a fact that 4 other knives and a potato peeler were used. So maybe, I just want to get it right, possibly also a can opener. Maybe not. It doesn't say for sure. Also, a Nerf-style baseball bat was found with blood on it, and the handle was also broken off of that. As the attack was happening, Michelle, which is, remember, Robert's wife, was sleeping on the couch and heard the sound of Genevieve screaming. This is from witness statement section 2. As she fled, she heard Genevieve. So she wakes up, Genevieve screaming. And as she's leaving, trying to get the heck out of there, she hears Genevieve screaming Robert's name. She fled to the neighbor's house. The neighbor's name was Joe, and asked Joe for help. Joe says in his witness statement that he was sleeping at the time. He threw on a pair of pants real quick and ran next door to try to offer aid to Genevieve. But when he got there, Robert chased him away. He chased him back towards his own house. So he goes over next door. I don't know where Joe's house was, but I'm assuming if this is the house, that this is the next door house. So he chases Robert back, Joe comes over and Robert chases him back towards Joe's house. Meanwhile, while this is all happening, Michelle's on the phone at Joe's house calling the police because the phone lines were cut, remember? So she couldn't call from inside the house. Although, why would you even want to stay there? If somebody's getting, your friend is getting murdered or whatever, I would probably want to leave too. It's just me. So he flees back next door. Robert chases him back, and there's a struggle that happens. A struggle ensues. And they're going back and forth. The potato peeler was involved in this, so I'm not sure if Robert was trying to stab Joe with the potato peeler too, but the potato peeler was found out here somewhere with the blood on it. Joe ends up grabbing a flashlight. I'm hoping, it doesn't say what kind of flashlight, but I'm thinking it was one of those mag lights that we keep near our front door as kind of a weapon, those big, long, police style mag lights. Make a really good weapon. Joe hits Robert over the head with the flashlight, and at this point, Robert runs and hides underneath Joe's pickup truck. In Joe's witness statement, he tells Officer Coy Smith and Sheriff James Bryce that he had known that Robert and Michelle were having marital issues and that Robert had hit Michelle, which is why Michelle was staying at Genevieve's house. When I read this, and this is from witness statement section 3 that I'm getting this information, when I read this, I was thinking, I'm pretty close with my neighbors, and if somebody was staying here, if somebody's gonna stay here, I usually let them know because we look out for each other. So I'm assuming that either Genevieve or Genevieve and Michelle had a conversation with Joe earlier in the day saying, yeah, she's here, this is what's happening. So I'm assuming that this information that Joe says he knew of the marital issues and that Michelle that Robert hit Michelle is directly from either Genevieve or Michelle, one or the other. Because, how else would he know that? Or why would he even say that? He's got no reason to lie, So where we're at right now. So Robert's hiding underneath the pickup truck, and Joe had hit him over the head with the flashlight. Now the cops arrived because Michelle had called the cops from Joe's house. When the cops arrived, Robert starts to flee from the scene, and you can see from this area that it's not real. It's not like a suburb. It's kind of rural Texas. There's a lot of open land here. We'll back out so you can see. So here's where the house was, and you can see. Let's get north. You can see there's just a lot of nothingness out here. Although there are some other houses and stuff there too, so... but yeah, it's a pretty small town. Everybody knows each other. I assume everybody knows each other's business. I've lived in a small town before. Everybody knows everything. These are not the only witnesses, by the way, guys. There was also another person named Michelle who lives in the area. And she was, there's a commotion going on. And she witnessed she heard what was going on, comes over to Joe's house, sees the phone call being made, Michelle talking to the police, and she also sees the part where where Joe hits Robert with the flashlight, and Robert goes and hides behind the truck. She saw Robert run away when the police arrived. Her statement is section 4 of the witness statements. Another witness named Joaquin basically saw the same stuff as Teresa saw. He saw Robert chasing Joe, the struggle, the flashlight, the hiding, all of that stuff. One more witness statement that is noteworthy to me is from a co-worker of Robert, who contacted the police. Her name is Yasina, and she contacted the police to say that earlier in the day, and this happened on the 1st, so it would have been the 30th or whatever. Earlier, this is an overnight event, so earlier that day or the day before, Robert said she overheard him saying that Michelle and him could be happy if he could just get rid of Genevieve. This is witness statement number 6. Yasina stated during her police interview that she was already aware of the marital problems between Michelle and Robert. When the police arrived, sorry, I skipped to the next witness statement. When the police arrived, they had a ride-along guy with them. So this was planned way in advance. This wasn't something that they just threw him in after the fact to have witnesses against him, anything like that. So Billy had set up this ride-along months in advance, and it just happened to be scheduled for December 1st. And he witnessed Robert flee from behind the pickup truck and saw the Deputy Irwin give chase. I'm going to play now the interview that I did with, I just wanted to give you guys a background of what happened in this case. And then I'm going to play this interview that I did with Tara, which thank you so much, Tara, for taking the time to speak to me. I really appreciate it so much. Like I said, I like to get all sides of stories when I tell them. And it makes it better for people to curate the information themselves in their minds. While I'm doing that, I'm going to pull up the Buy Me a Coffee because it doesn't give me a pop-up or anything, so I have to actually pull it up to see if you guys donated. And I do, like I said, appreciate it if you did do that, mainly because I'm demonetized and it helps me make this channel better. Every single dollar that I get from donations goes into buying equipment and, upgrading my system. All right, here we go. Why is it not playing? There we go. Hello, and welcome to the interview. I usually say welcome to the show, but this is just an interview. So I wanted to say welcome to Tara, who online is known as Frauditor Reaper. Hello, Tara.
Hi.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your channel? And definitely, whenever you all are seeing this, I will have her channel linked below in ways you can get in touch with Tara.
Sure. Yeah, I started the channel a year ago, I think.
Let me know in the chat if I need to turn it up or if you guys are hearing it okay, all of that stuff.
I was watching some of the anti-frauditor channels like Schrodinger's Cat and Frauditor Troll, Blue Bacon, stuff like that. And I was just yelling at the TV at people like Chili in them. And my son was like, stop yelling at the TV. You're going to have a heart attack. Start your own channel.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. So I did. And I focused mainly on Chili.
Yeah.
Just
He's an easy target, isn't he?
Easy target. He's like that gift that just keeps on giving. And in my opinion, and lots of other people's opinions, he's dangerous. He's going to get somebody hurt.
Definitely.
Or worse, with his rhetoric. And that's pretty much it.
So we met on Big Wes's channel. I believe it was Big Wes, wasn't it? We were on a panel together with Matt.
That was fun.
I was kind of moderating a debate over there, and that's how we came across each other. This was a couple of months ago. And at the time, we talked offline, and you brought up your husband, Robert. Well, at the time, he was your boyfriend?
He was my fiance at the time.
Okay. So that's, I think, when I messaged you recently this past week, I thought it was still your boyfriend or fiance, but you have since got married. So congratulations.
Thank you.
When did you get married?
I'm going to hold that date. There's way too many people trying to get stuff that's none of their business.
Okay, that's fine. Just estimate, was it last month, 2 months ago? It's been within the last 3 months, right? Okay, so in June.
It was in June.
Congratulations. My husband and my anniversary is in June as well, June 23rd. So
nice.
We just had our 16-year wedding anniversary. Wow. Yeah, wow is right.
Wow.
I can't believe he puts up with me. Did you get married? Oh, this is just my curiosity. When you got married, do they have a little chapel in the
They do.
prison? Okay,
he actually runs it.
I was thinking it was like in the, I was going to say break room, but that's not the right word. Visitation room or in a chapel. So
they will do it in the visitation room if people want it in there.
Yeah.
Like if you're not religious or whatever. But of course we had it in the chapel.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that they have a place of worship for you guys to do that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? That's very important in my life. As people know who watch my channel, my regulars know that I am religious and I do believe in that Jesus Christ is our Lord and Savior.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And from what I understand, you and your husband are the same. You are saved. So that's wonderful news.
He brought me back about a year ago. Yes, I was Norse pagan for about 15 years.
Yeah. We have, this is not the subject for today, but we should have a conversation about that sometime too, because that's interesting to me.
Yeah.
You have one child together. Well, first tell me about, let's go back to the beginning. How did you meet Robert?
I was 17 and I worked at Long John Silver's.
Okay.
My dad got stationed back at Fort Knox and I was working the drive-through and he came through the drive-through and both of us just couldn't stop like smiling at each other. And I had no clue who he was and I wasn't paying attention to his nameplate because he was in the Army.
That's so cute.
And then he kept coming through the drive-through. But we never were always so busy when he came through.
Yeah.
And one day my friend who called me from the barracks, she was like, Tara, I need you to come get me. I'm drunk. I can't drive. And I'm like, why do you keep going up there? Like I had never been up there before.
Yeah.
And she was like, I need you to come get me. So I went up there and she told me what room to go to and she wouldn't answer the door. So I went across to the wall across from that door and it just sat on the floor and started waiting for her. And then the door probably 2 inches from me opened up. And I looked up and it was Robbie.
That is such a cute meetup, especially Long John Silver. He must have really liked you to keep going back to Long John.
Yeah, because he did not like the food there.
Yeah, very cute. And then from what I understand, you conceived a child at that point. We
did. Well, later, yeah.
Oh, okay. So was it when you were 17 or were you older than that?
I was almost 18. Well, actually it was my 18th birthday.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And you have more than one child, is that right?
Dude, they're 10 years apart, but my son is with my ex-husband of 13 years.
Okay. And I did see something, and you can decline to answer any of these questions, but
Mhm.
which child, I know one of your children is transgendered. Is it your oldest with Robbie, or is it the other one?
My youngest.
Your youngest. Okay. So
Right. And
that's
he's kind
tough.
of
So
going,
hopefully he's
he's
getting
going
the counseling and stuff that he needs,
therapy. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
getting counseling and stuff like that. Yeah, we're working on that.
And he's
Counseling.
a trans
I
man.
don't know what he's really deciding.
Okay. Well, I was
Right
just
now-
curious if he was born male or born female. It doesn't really matter.
He's born male.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Which actually, that's not the kid that's involved. I was thinking it was the one with Robbie. So that's neither here nor there. Sorry.
No. No.
Let's see. Let's look at my questions.
Right. Yeah.
Chapel. I'm so happy that they had a chapel for you. That's awesome.
Oh, my
Okay, I
screen-
understand that
okay, there we
Robbie
go.
continued his education and
I know.
Robbie continued his education in prison, and I would love to know about the degrees that he earned, and
He did.
also how he is able to use them
Okay.
in prison to help people who are there.
Well, his first 3
Can you hear me?
degrees he's not able to actually use. Yes, I can hear you. You keep freezing on me.
Okay.
Can you hear
Oh.
me?
I can. Yeah, just go with it.
Okay. He started getting his degrees in 2008. He has
Mhm.
2 associate's degrees. One's in business administration and then business management. And I can't remember what the other one is in. But then he joined the seminary program in 2016.
Yeah.
And he did years in that. Or it was
That's
before
what
that,
I'm interested in, because
2014.
people in
2014 is when he
prison
did it.
people in prison really need that around them. So
Oh,
that's really the one
absolutely.
I'm interested. That, and I was
Okay.
wondering if he ever got a medical degree, because I know he was in some sort of medical school when this all happened.
Oh, he was he had just signed up for the RN program when all
Yeah.
this happened. So
Yeah.
he didn't get a chance to do that. But in 2014 is when he joined the seminary program.
Mhm.
And he did his 4 years. He has his bachelor's degree in biblical studies and a bachelor's in biblical theology.
Amazing.
And since he has been pretty much the field minister that everybody goes to, the administration, the other inmates, the officers, he takes care of the chapel. He does everything.
I'm
and he
so
loves his
happy
job.
that he's found his calling and he's able to help other prisoners out. I know I
Yeah.
have a friend who also did many years in prison, and he was telling me when I was asking him about it, that having a purpose makes life inside way easier. So I'm glad that
Absolutely.
Robbie has found his purpose in life.
Me too.
Okay, now we're going to get into the tough stuff. So that was the easy stuff. I wanted to know a little about Robbie and know what kind of person he
Right.
is now, because that's
Absolutely.
important. You know, people are
It is.
I'm not the same person I was when you said he was 20 when this happened,
He
or
was
21?
22 when this happened.
22. Yeah, I'm not the
Mhm.
same person as I was when I was 22.
None
and
of
I
us
know
are.
precisely. Excuse me. So before the crime, Robbie was about to go to jail for something else, and it was
No.
alluded to that there was. Well, I'm just gonna ask, and then you tell.
Mhm.
Like, this is why I'm asking, so you can get out what
Oh,
the actual correct
okay, you're-
information. Yeah. So
Oh, okay. I see what you're doing. Okay.
yeah. So it was alluded that this was for domestic violence against his then wife. Do you know if this is true? And if it was true, was he ever violent towards you back then?
He was never violent towards me. And no, that's not true. He was not about to go to jail or anything like that. I know from him and other people that they did have some explosive fights,
Okay.
but nobody was going to jail.
Okay. So there was no domestic violence at all that you know of.
I mean, I can't answer to that. I wasn't there.
Well, I mean, I
yeah.
looked for records and I didn't find any records of it either.
Yeah.
And
Nobody
then
was going to jail for it.
there was another incident that took place where he lent his car to somebody. Do you know
Yes.
anything about that?
I do. I actually have seen he one of his friends or two of his friends, whoever it was, asked him at his party if they could borrow his car for an hour or something, and he said, "Yeah, that's fine." He always loaned his car out. He loaned his car out to me when we were together.
Yeah,
and he didn't see it come back. Like, he woke up the next morning, his car still wasn't there. I've seen the police report that he actually reported stolen, because he was like, okay, if it didn't come back this morning, where's my car?
I have not seen that, and actually, if you have access to that, send that to me, because I'd love to bring that up on Sunday when we
No problem.
when I go over
I'll grab it. Yeah, I got to go get it from his dad.
That's interesting, and like that makes more sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
If he did report it missing, that's
I didn't think to grab it from his dad's house when I first saw it. So yeah,
or just have his dad like take a picture of it and send it, or whatever.
I'll do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now there was let's see. So no domestic violence, as far as you know. All he did is that other cases lend his car out, and those people who borrowed / stole his car, because if you borrow somebody's car. I'm just going to break in here for a second, guys, and let you know that I never received that police report that I was asking Tara to send to me about the car being stolen or reported stolen. So I just wanted to let you guys know that, so you're not thinking that I'm like hiding it from you guys or something like that. It was just never sent to me.
Borrowed it. They just didn't bring it back, and it was because it was impounded.
If you don't return a car that you borrow, you kind of stole it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So they ended up committing a crime using his vehicle. So that's where that all stems from. I'm just gonna. I need to blow my nose, so I'm.
You're fine.
Give me 1 second. I don't want to keep sniffling into the mic. And I said before we started I was not going to edit this at all, so I'm leaving that in, guys. People who've watched my live stream know that the allergens here in Georgia are just horrible this time.
I know. I lived in Georgia. They are very bad there.
Yeah. Okay, so they never returned his car, and they committed a murder using his car as like and it was a double murder?
It was a double. Yes.
Yeah, that's yikes, yeah. So going over the police report, you had mentioned to me that there's details in the police report that you think are wrong, or that Robbie has told you are wrong. Do you think, first of all, what are those details? And then do you think the police lied, or do you think that they just got it wrong?
There's a couple of them I'm actually going to go and look at, so that I can not base an opinion on them, but actually see as a fact or fiction. So once I find out about that, I'll be heading down there either next week or the week after to go check those out. But the one thing I did notice is they say that he wrote a confession hours after the arrest, and there's no confession attached. And Robbie stated he never wrote a confession. And even if he had, he was so intoxicated he wouldn't have known how to hold a pen.
Gotcha.
So I don't understand why they would say that he wrote a confession. I did contact the sheriff's office, and from what I understand, they usually wait till the person sobers up before they have them write a confession.
Yeah.
So I don't understand that.
So what do you know, or what either from the how do you see what happened that night? Just a brief TLDR summary of what happened, why he's in prison.
It's horrible what he did. I'm not going to deny that. I didn't know the full story. I was lied to by other people about what happened, and I'm dealing with that.
Other people, not Robbie, just other people other than him.
Right.
Okay. I just want to clear that up.
Yeah. I'm processing the report. It's disgusting. It's horrible. It's scary, and it made me cry for Jenny. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve it at all. And he deserves, his prison time.
Yes.
And I'll be the first one to say it. I've never denied what he did.
Mm-hmm.
I've never defended his murder.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to talk about now that I've read the report.
Okay.
I'm still
Understandable.
processing it.
He is not the person that he was when he was 22 years old.
Absolutely not. He's not even the person he was when we were together.
Mm-hmm.
There's still some, quirks and stuff that were there before, but as far as he had some anger back then,
Mm-hmm.
all stemming back from personal stuff in childhood. He had the whole egotistic thing going.
Mm-hmm.
That's not even part of him anymore.
Yeah. Well, things change when you find God.
Absolutely.
So there was a couple of different things that you've said, one of which is that it was about a bar fight where the person didn't wake up, and the second one was that he walked into his cousin's front door, and it was an altercation in the dark, and neither of them
Right.
knew who they were.
That
Is
was
that
the story I was
information?
told.
Okay, so that's what I was
That
going
is
to ask.
not true.
Is that information that you were told by Robbie or somebody else?
Somebody
And
else.
did you just not know the extent of it, or were you just trying to not put your business out there?
I didn't know the extent of it. And when I did try to locate the records to find out on my own, I went through the Department of Public Safety,
Okay.
which when you look it up online to get criminal records, court records, police records, that is where you're supposed to go.
Okay.
And so I did that, and I paid the fee.
Mhm.
They sent me everything, and I got the first page of the police report.
Yeah.
So I contacted them and I said, I only got one page of the police report. I don't understand that. And she said, because the first page of the police report is the only thing that's public record. Anything after that, they don't make public because it can hinder investigations, court rulings, and probation decisions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's understandable for me. So I let it go. And then, of course, I got the plea deal.
Okay. Yeah. I think I have a copy of that too, the plea deal.
Yes.
And it doesn't list out the extent of the crimes in there.
Mm-mm.
It just says whatever the charge
Capital murder,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So there was never he was never charged with manslaughter or any lesser crimes. It was always capital murder. Is that
Right.
correct?
He did spend his first 18 months in county trying to fight the capital murder charge, not the murder. He knew what he did.
Yeah.
He did try to fight the capital murder charge. There were 2 district attorneys attached to his case,
Mm-hmm.
or public defenders.
Oh, okay.
They didn't
Okay.
have a lot of money. He comes from a poor family. They didn't have the money to hire some expensive lawyer. So they had 2 public defenders.
Mm-hmm.
The assistant public defender even questioned the public defender why they were trying to push capital murder.
Yep.
In this plea deal, and he was let go the next day.
Oh, okay.
And then Robbie continued to fight the capital part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they brought his mother in and said, there's only 2 choices for you at this point. You're either going to sign the deal for the capital murder, or we're just going to go ahead and let you get the death penalty. If you sign the deal, you'll get life. At that point, his mother had begged him, please, just sign it. I would rather visit you in prison than in a graveyard. So
I assume
he
that
signed.
whatever he signed would have had his confession in that. Like he had
Exactly.
to sign what normally, and
Mhm.
like I said, this case is so old and also is very underreported. I couldn't
Mhm.
even find like a news article or
Neither could I.
about any of this, which is kind of crazy to me that a
Mhm.
young woman lost her life and there's
Yes.
not some sort of record of
Yes,
of it
exactly.
anywhere. And most of the cases that I cover on my channel are more well known, or at least well known enough that I can dig online and find
Mhm.
information out. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? But a young woman lost her life, and from the evidence presented in the documents that I received, it was premeditated. He brought with him stuff to do a kidnapping, and he brought there was notes written out, like a to-do list almost, like
Right.
do this, do that. So why would it not be capital murder? Like, why would he fight the capital murder charge is my question.
That is what I'm going to review
Okay.
with the sheriff in the next week or two.
Okay. And the sheriff that I was emailing with was very nice and responsive.
He
so
is.
hopefully you can get a hold of I forget his name, but you can get a hold of him.
Sheriff
and
Johnson.
Yeah, he can go over it with you.
Yeah, he's very nice and helpful. Absolutely.
Is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about the case? I don't want to dig too deep into it because I know it's difficult, especially since you're just now finding all of this information out. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about it?
I mean, it's something I have to accept. I married him before the report came out.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a horrible thing that he did.
Previous to the report coming out, did he ever talk to you about it?
We talked about it little by little.
Yeah.
Some things that came out, and it was more because I'd already spoken to certain family members. I didn't want to bring it up with him fully. I felt I had the story.
Yeah.
I felt certain people wouldn't lie to me about that. And there were a couple things that he did open up about. And there's a lot of stuff that was behind the scenes that would never have been written in a report that I can't get into because I don't have his permission to discuss. That would make some things in the report you would be like, okay, so what is that?
Yeah. That's understandable. So basically, the long story short is that when you were saying things online about this crime, about it being a cousin or about the bar fight.
Oh, it is his cousin. I don't know about the bar fight at all.
There was somebody said, or I had screenshots, and I'd have to dig back through them, that you said that there was a bar fight, and he got into a bar fight, and the gentleman went home and went to sleep and never woke back up, and that's what this whole murder case stemmed from. I've
never even heard that before.
Okay, and it might be misinformation that I'm getting too. I don't want to.
This had nothing to do with the bar fight. I know that he was highly intoxicated, and that happened at home.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is that it was his cousin's house, and that he walked in through the front door, and we know we know from the report that he went in through the window. There was an unlocked living room window that he went in. But that's not the point. The point is that you were given information from, I assume, his family members that was incorrect. And it sounds like they were just trying to maybe cover up for him a little bit. I think they never thought that you would see the report.
That's my guess. I mean, when his ex-wife even came back from Texas, she still hung around with the same friend group I did.
Yeah.
And when I started hearing things, I immediately called his mother and said, what's going on? Why is she back? And she said, it's okay. Like, it's over with them, but he's staying with his grandparents until he, deals with their divorce and all that. And I'm like, oh, okay. And
so this is when they were separated. This is pre.
No, this is after he was in jail.
Oh,
this was after his arrest, after the murder. And I questioned a family member, a very close family member of his. Why would his mom tell me that? This was January of 97.
Okay.
And he said that he thinks his mom was trying to protect our daughter from finding out what he did.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I'm like, I'm thinking in my head, but what about the internet? But the internet hadn't blown up yet.
Yeah, the internet wasn't
So
really
how
a
would
thing
she
back then.
know?
Yeah.
Right. And she passed away in 2007.
Yeah.
So I can't even question, why she didn't tell me. But
Yeah.
it was just, she didn't even tell him we had a daughter, and she knew.
Oh, wow.
And it was
Okay.
something about that. That's all because of something within their marriage, had nothing to do with Robbie.
Mhm.
That was the whole reason she didn't say anything.
Gotcha.
But she did tell him before she died.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, she went
Yeah.
up in 2007 and told him, and it's like, hey, at least she finally did it.
Yeah. And
But,
there
yeah.
was one point that you said that the ex-wife had lied about Robbie, and that's why he was in jail. What was that? What was she lying about? And was it
But
about
he
this?
never went to jail
Or well,
before that.
yeah. Okay. I might be
No.
conflating things in my
Yeah.
head. I think maybe the letter that was found in his backpack. I'm
Yeah.
conflating that with. Sorry.
No, you're
My
fine.
bad.
You're fine. No,
It's just so much
those are
information
the
I've
things.
taken in over the
I
last
know.
week, you know?
Those are the
Yeah.
things I'm going to go look at.
Okay.
Yes.
So the ex-wife really they just separated, and she didn't have anything to do with him after that.
It was all due to adultery. She cheated, and he kicked her out. There was an altercation at his mother's house between her and his mother that Robbie walked into and broke up.
Okay.
And then she left and went back to Jenny's.
So
but he had kicked her out. I think it was the night before the murder happened. He
kicked her out. She didn't leave him.
Yeah, no. He threw all her stuff out and told her to leave.
So was he trying to get her back when he went over there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that. I have no clue. I wish I could answer that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to me, and I want to give you the opportunity to say anything you want to say right now, because like I told you when we were corresponding in emails, I want to tell both sides of this story and do it in a way that people can make up their own minds, because all of this little, this said this and that said that, you know what I mean? That's not ideal for people to, get the whole story. So anything else that you want to say about Robbie or about this case, anything like that?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry to the people that I told this story that I thought was real, that turned out to be untrue. I wasn't purposely lying about it. I wasn't trying to deceive you in it. I honestly thought that this was the real story. If I'd have known that I could have just gone to the sheriff's office to get these records, I would have done that back in 2022.
Yeah.
Before I even decided to get back with him and move to Texas. And so, yeah, I am sorry about repeating a story that was told to me that turned out to be untrue.
Yeah.
I also want to say that I get it. People are going to judge my husband. You have absolute right to. Everybody, if you want to judge, I can't tell you you cannot.
I will say that the only person that can judge us is God.
I know it's just about to get to it, but to remember that the only true judge of any of us is God, not us. And you know what? He's paying for what he did. And he has made a better person out of himself. Where people will just sit in prison and woes me and leech off their family and still take. He actually took the initiative to become educated and find what makes him happy in life, which is ministry. And his schooling did not come one penny off of the taxpayer.
Yeah.
That was off of scholarship money that he had saved, and he was in the Army.
Yeah, he gets a GI Bill.
Correct. So the taxpayers didn't pay any of his schooling.
Yeah, my husband got the same GI Bill. I know all about it.
So, yeah, I just want to put that out because I know that'll come out too. So, he's trying to be a father to both our kids, stepfather to my son, and a father to our daughter.
Yeah.
From where he is. And, I never thought I would find him again. to be fully honest. I looked every single year.
Yeah.
For the sole purpose of not me, but my daughter. She had the right to know who her father was.
Yeah, kids need dads for sure.
Yes, even if he didn't want to be in her life, she would know his name, and maybe later in life she could reconnect with him or something.
Yeah.
And I had never expected to find him back in 2013, and then it took her 8 years to reach out when she felt comfortable enough doing it, and I respected her for that. And she asked me not to contact him before her, so I respected that, and I promised her, and I didn't.
Yeah.
When
is he up for parole?
I would also like to keep that one out because
okay.
People.
I just didn't know if it was like a month from now or years from now.
No. It's not going to be. I wish it was a month from now, but no, it's not a month from now.
Okay, so it's still a little while.
Not as long as what the profile is saying, but yes.
Okay. All right. Well, I hope that all goes well. Obviously, it sounds like he is a different person than what he was in 1996. Which, like I said, we all are. Everybody's got stuff in their past. And I'm glad that you were able to come on and talk with me about it because, like I was saying before, I'm going to tell this story. I want to honor Genevieve. She did not deserve to lose her life the way she did. And
I agree.
But I don't want to forget that there is somebody in prison for this right now. And we're all humans,
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it could have happened to any of us. We all have anger. Well,
I mean, I don't know about that.
No, then there's alcohol involved. Yeah. And, and then certain things.
Yeah.
He has also received help for that as well, for what had happened to him.
Yeah.
And that made a big difference.
I'm just so, I didn't realize that he had kicked her out. I'm sorry to go back to this again.
No, you're fine.
But it's just like the wheels are turning. But if he kicked her out, why would he go back to where she was at that night? It just doesn't make sense in my brain.
It doesn't make sense to me either.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he was trying to work it out with her, or
I don't know.
Or that he was planning on taking her somewhere to talk it out or something, and that's where the kidnapping thing came from. Or maybe he was planning on kidnapping her.
Maybe, I don't know. I could go and I could grill him over and over and over again. It's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to get him anywhere.
One last question, and then we'll wrap it up.
Okay.
If you had known about, or if you had access to this police report before you said I do, would you have reconsidered, or is this love and love is love and that's it? It doesn't matter what he did in his past.
If I had gotten the police report right after we first connected, this relationship probably would have never happened.
Okay.
If I had received it 2 weeks before I said I do, I would have still said I do.
Okay, that's fair.
Because of who he is today.
Yep.
Not who he was then. And I want to correct something I said when I meant it could happen to any of us. I'm not saying that. I'm saying anything bad could happen to any one of us in our life.
True. And we pray that bad things do not happen, but inevitably they always do. So
yes.
Well, it's very good talking to you, and hopefully you tune in on Sunday. And at the end of my shows, I do call in, so you're welcome to call in on Sunday as well if you like.
I will do that.
All right. Thanks so much. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So what do you guys think? That was the interview that I had. Did I turn my mic back on? I did. Okay, just checking. It's much like me to leave my mic off and just talk for a long time. So that's the interview that I did with Frauditor Reaper, aka Tara. And there were some things in there that I wanted, like I said many times, I wanted to get both sides of the story. But I did hear, and I'm not sharing private screenshots on my channel. Some of you who know, but I did see where she had told people that it was a bar fight, that ended up being fatal. And I did see where she actually wrote, and now the bar fight thing is somebody saying that she said that to them. And the other one about it being a cousin that a male cousin, she does use the pronoun he in this, that it was a male cousin that was killed. And Robert went to this male cousin's house and was confused for a burglar or something like that. And was protecting himself after being attacked. So I just want to put that out there. Also, I did see, I believe it was Shiz asking about the GI Bill and if you still can receive it, the GI Bill, if you have been convicted of a crime. And I did look into that. Like I had mentioned before, my husband is a Marine. I want to say was a Marine, but as you guys know, once a Marine, always a Marine. So he is a Marine. He was in for 8 years, and he looked into it, and you can definitely still receive your GI Bill if you have committed a crime. Even if you're convicted of a very serious crime, you still get the benefit that you earned by serving in the military. Real quick before I move on to the next segment, which is going to be the letters. We want to get to the letters. So I'm going to read these letters to you guys, and then I'll take some calls. But since we've been live, several people have made donations, and I want to give Xena her milk bones, because that's the best part of the show. You people don't come here to see me. You come here to see Xena. Right, Xena? She's not dead. She's asleep, I promise. Xena's the best co-host that we have. So I want to thank... Hold on, I gotta pull this up. Mo G and Kelly W. Also, it looks like yesterday somebody named Randall sent me she gets 3. Basically, long story short, she gets 3 milk bones right now. Count them, 1, 2, 3, and we will get that going for her. And put the chat back up on the screen. Thank you very much. Oh, I almost gave her 4. I mean, we want to reward her, but no, we don't want her fat. All right, Xena. Yeah, nobody comes here to see me. They come here to see Xena, which is the best co-host in the world, by the way. Second best co-host is number 2. You can catch our show once a month called Friday Night Crime. We just had it this past Friday. Go back and watch that episode. All right. Oh, let me make this bigger. Until then, you can do the subscribe star. Let me put that up there real quick. So any of my channel members who are very sad that they can't be a channel member anymore, remember, you can always go to Subscribe Star, which is a third-party sort of subscription service, and subscribe to me there. I would appreciate it. Xena would appreciate it because she gets milk bones. obviously. And then you can also do the buy me a coffee. Yeah, if my mods can just drop links in the chat every now and again, I would appreciate it. This is the biggest audience I've ever had. Also, hey, real quick, and we'll get into it, hit the like button, please. It really helps the algorithm. And also subscribe. Even if you don't really like true crime that much, every now and again, you might be looking for something to, take your mind off of things, and you want to hear about like gruesome murders. Just to get your mind off of your own life, So hit the subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. I'd love to get to 2,000 subscribers. I should set myself a goal within 3 months. Maybe we could do it within 3 months. Heck, maybe if we could do it tonight. I don't know. All right, back to the story. So as we mentioned before, a little bit, there was letters that were found in this backpack that he discarded as he was running away, and Deputy Irwin was chasing him. Now we know that it was his backpack because there were several witnesses who saw him with the backpack, and Deputy Irwin saw him discard the backpack. Oh, News Now Enemies putting my Twitter up there. Yikes. I'm a pretty good follow over on Twitter. Hey, follow me on Twitter. Let's get me to 1,000 followers on Twitter. I don't know, 900 and something right now. That'd be great. So the first piece of paper that was in the backpack was that to-do list that we read earlier, the kidnapping thing. Waiting for Ginny to get home, which was interesting. And the reason I say that's interesting is because if he was going to kidnap her and it wasn't the plan to dispatch of Ginny, I wonder why he had on his to-do list to wait for Genevieve to get home. It doesn't make sense. There's a lot of things that don't make sense, especially after talking to Tara. A lot of what was said during that conversation I've been thinking about, and a lot of it doesn't make sense. One of the things that I mentioned during the interview is why, if she cheated on him, first of all, not a reason to kidnap, you cheated on me, I'm going to kidnap you. Not exactly self-defense there. Why did he bring knives with him? Why did he bring the stuff to, if he was just going to kidnap his wife, which is what he admits to in his statement, by the way. He pled guilty to this crime. He definitely did this crime. The muddying of the waters with the different ways that it happened is what really gets me. Saying that Genevieve cheated on him, even if true, seems a little like victim blaming. Are we going to talk about what she was wearing next? It's horrible. But I do believe, and this is my feelings, allegedly, there's no record of this, but I believe that he was going to kill Genevieve and then blame Michelle for the murder of Genevieve. Allegedly, that's what I think happened. Because otherwise, why would it say on the note to wait till Genevieve gets home? A little crazy. All right, so these letters. The first letter says, now these letters were written by Robert as if he was Michelle. So he's writing out letters and signing them, or, basically he's making up evidence to show, to account for Michelle not being there, basically. The first letter says, "Hey friend, well, this is pretty hard, but it'll have to do. I still have those feelings for you, but I don't show them. That's the really hard part. Well, just wanted to say hi. Signed, Michelle." Second letter. is addressed to Robert. Robert, let me begin with, I don't know why, but I just did. I think this is one of the reasons why I think that he was going to try to blame the murder on Michelle, because I don't know why I just did. I don't know. Let me begin with, I don't know why I just did. I get, as you say, a hard-on by making people miserable. I love this community. You were right. Everyone is easy to get along with. That's the reason I lied and pled you were a bad person. Truth is, I'm not ready to settle down. Paul, only because you looked to him and Jenny, or looked up to, sorry, I can read, I promise. Only because you looked up to him and Jenny. I don't want to be a nurse. It was just small talk with those two gullible ass. It's difficult to read somebody else's writing because the grammar is so poor, and also the spelling is very inaccurate. So please forgive me for my reading skills right now. I don't want to be a nurse. It was just small talk with those gullible dumbass. One, a woman with 2 kids, different fathers, who's way too judgmental. The other, because he made everything easier for me to make you hurt, just because you were too gullible. Actually, the biggest one of them all. I'd tell you more, but ask Jenny. She'll fill you in. Ha! I've left and will return when my rent is due to take my stuff. Have fun in jail, even though you're actually innocent. Good luck explaining this one. Always get the better hand. So that's where I got the indication that he was going to jail for something else. Now, the reason why I don't know. Let me get rid of that so I can see the chat. Sorry, I want to keep the chat up on the screen. Did I mute? I muted, right? If I didn't mute and I just blew my nose in you guys' ears, I am really sorry. So there's 2 crimes that happened before this that I know of. One of them is the fact that he lent his car to gang members who ended up shooting 3 different people, 2 of which died. So that's one thing. But this letter is basically him writing as if he's Michelle, saying that she lied about him in order to get him arrested for domestic violence. There is a domestic violence arrest. However, it's sealed because it's, domestic violence. So there's not an actual report or whatever about that. It really upsets me. It really upsets me a lot that he would write this about, or as if it's her saying that that she lied about him, because there's so many cases of domestic violence where the woman is afraid to come forward because her life is so entangled, and just her in general, her, not Michelle necessarily, but the woman's life is so entangled with the man that she cannot see a path out. Now, if any of you are in a situation like that, there is help. There are people that can help you. And this goes both ways too, by the way. It's not always a man that's abusing a woman. It goes the other way around. Women can abuse men. And there are far less men's shelters out there than there are women's shelters. If you need help, if you're in this situation, email me, contact me. You cannot live in my basement. However, I will find the resources for you to get you the help that you need. This is something I'm very passionate about. It breaks my heart if Michelle was in this situation and finally got the courage to leave. Finally got the courage to leave, to get out of that situation. And Genevieve, the angel that she is, took her into her home and ended up getting killed over it. I identify so much with Genevieve. She's a couple years older than me. So she's my age, basically. She's also the type of person that would open their home to a friend in need. And I do the same thing. And I hope that it never gets me in the sort of situation that Genevieve was in that night. I can't imagine just knowing, laying on the floor, on the bedroom floor, and then dragged into the kitchen, knowing that this is it, that this person is going to take your life, is going to take away your children's mother because you wanted to help a friend. I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting a little emotional. It's a very difficult case, and I do identify so much with Genevieve, just from what I know about her, the type of person that she is. And to have somebody just bring up the fact that she was cheating on her husband, which I don't even believe is true. I don't buy it. But even if she was, maybe it's because he was beating her. Maybe she was looking for a path out, and she thought maybe that path out is to find somebody else. So maybe she was cheating. I don't think she was, though. All right. Let me get to the next letter, and then I'm going to take some calls. What I'm going to do right now is put the link in the chat and jump in there. I'm going to take one person at a time. This is not turning into a panel show. I'm sorry, guys. I don't normally cry on stream. I feel so silly right now. I'm so sorry. I'm going to put the link in the chat. I'm going to take one person at a time. This is not going to become a debate or a panel show or anything like that. That's not what we do here. But I want to hear everyone's... If anybody has anything to say about this, I invite it. So we'll do about 2 minutes a person and just get in line. There's the link. Sorry for coughing in your ears. All right, this is the third letter that was found in his backpack. It's kind of a long one, so while I'm reading this, go ahead and get in there. If you want your voice heard on this program right now, just get in there and I'd be happy to hear you out. Time to be honest. I would have told you today, but it just didn't seem right. This is a chicken shit way. Speaking of chicken, never mind. This is a chicken shit way to do this, but hey, it works. I have lied to you from day one, Robert. Never did anything wrong to me, except love me too much. Remember, this is him writing as if he's her. Just keep that in the back of your head. He has been the perfect husband, and I just didn't want to be tied down. You and everyone else made it easy for me to make my exit and end this chapter of my life. I can't believe y'all bought my stories from day one. It was too easy. It blew my mind when you would believe me, an outsider to someone you've known all your life. Too easy. Paul, well, he was nothing compared to what I had. Looks, Robert wins. Body, Robert wins. And being trustworthy, Robert wins. Robert may have been miserable, but he would have never messed around on me. Everyone in this one-horse town made it too easy because y'all are gullible. The reason I ever mentioned Paul to you, he wanted to be like you and Paul because he said you had your head on straight. You see, my pleasure is watching somebody be miserable. When Robert started to become a better aide than me, I hated it, especially when once we took our med aid class, he would pass and I wouldn't. It's no big thing, but he is smarter than me. The other thing is for about 3 months on my days off when he was working, I slept with everyone. Even his family, in parentheses, Jesse. I guess I screwed 9 different people and nobody did it right but Robert. Can you imagine? Holy cow. Sorry, I had to break character there for a minute. Do you think that a battered wife would be writing about how good her husband was in bed? Do you think this is something that happens? This is insane. This is just dumb. I need to put this under the dumb criminals section of YouTube. I mean, between this and then the to-do list. I guess that's all I'm going to miss from this town, but stuff happens. I've gone with Josh, and he's taken me to Georgia to be with my family until I find another sucker. He's a guy from Uvalde who I've been regularly seeing. I'll be back to get my stuff and make my quitting right. But I've sucked the life from this person, so my deed is done. I would have stayed, but now that he is going to jail, it's going to take the fun out of it. Thanks for making this easy. Ha! So that's it. That's the note. What do you guys think? We're going to find out what you guys think because I'm going to take some calls right now. The first person is Jerry. So real quick, let me go over the rules again. Please keep the swearing to a minimum. It's not that it's not allowed. I just don't like it. I try not to swear online or in general. Definitely no blasphemy or smut. That's it. That's the rules. Other than that, you can say whatever you want. We'll do about 2 minutes a call, and we'll start with Jerry. Hi, Jerry.
Hey.
Say something. I can barely hear you.
I can barely hear me.
That's all right. I can turn you up. All right.
Turn me up.
I'm going to turn the background music down and you up. All right. So what did you think of this case?
Well, first of all, I always thought it was a special case, not because the other stuff, but because it was a friend.
Jerry, I hate to cut you off, but you're roboting and I can barely hear you. So I'm going to see if you can fix that. I'm going to take the next call and I'll come back to you, okay? Okay. Next up, we have Shiz. Shiz, nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. I just wanted to let you know you did an excellent job.
Thank you.
For giving Genevieve and Michelle a voice. That when me and the nation, it was called personal attacks, and it's not. The lies were very public as well because those women don't deserve that. They survived every woman's.
Yeah, that's what really got me is when you hear there's so many women that are in this situation and she was finally getting out, man.
That's the saddest part because any woman that's been in has that fear that whoever end up staying with is going to end up very real fear.
Yeah. Exactly. You're buffering a little bit. I'm losing every other word.
Oh no, it's because we're.
Well, that sounds better.
You did a great job. Thank you for putting everything to be rest in peace and may Michelle fruitful life.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you originally getting these documents, and I know you got them to Jerry to get to me, so I appreciate that a lot. It started me down the path to really explore this case. So I appreciate you digging into this.
No problem. Once I started hearing what she was saying about the circumstances, I had to get the truth. Just think degrading was awful, but you did an excellent job. You cried. I cried a lot too. I read it so I wouldn't cry a lot.
I did the same thing, and I
of
ended
women
up
can
like, I
resonate
think I
with it.
held it together, but I almost cried for sure.
Any woman can, and any woman could have been. So I think it resonates with a lot. Thank you for
All right. I will see you next time, or maybe I'm subscribed to your channel now too. So I'll see you next time you go live
we'll
as
have
well.
to collab sometime.
Yeah, we might have something in the works. We'll see. All right. Have a good night. Bye. Only Frauds is here. Hello.
Hey, Katie, how you doing?
Good. You're not breaking up. Jerry and shit are breaking up a little bit.
Yeah, they're on their phones. I got a mic.
Yeah, you got a good connection.
Thank you.
So what did you think of this case? I assume you've heard of it recently before, but did I miss anything, or is there anything else you wanted to say about any of the characters that we talked about today?
Well, you've probably got a lot of my screenshots.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in pretty much the forefront of this, in the middle of it with Reaper. There's a lot of stuff that she just, I don't want to call her a liar, but there's just a bunch of stuff that is totally different than what she is saying.
Yeah.
And it upsets me because I actually cared for her, and she thinks I haven't, but I did. I've got a long list of DMs from her. And, if I hadn't cared for her, I wouldn't have helped her financially. I wouldn't have bought it on her channel. I wouldn't have become a member. But
so you did help her financially as well. Was this?
Yes, a lot of us did. It was like $240. $87 of it was supposed to be for a marriage license, which after I gave it to her, she says, "Oh my God, we've been waiting for this. Robbie's going to be so excited." And I come to find out a little bit later on, after stuff starts coming out, that other people were giving her the same for a marriage license.
Oh, I didn't know any of this.
Yes, there's a lot.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to go into it. That's why I decided to take calls. So the floor is yours.
So, I mean, like when she said that she was there in 97 talking to his mom, I guess, and wanting to know why Michelle came back, or why his mom was saying stuff. But she wasn't there because, according to her, when they broke up, it was because a girl, Michelle, convinced him our baby wasn't his. Keep in mind, I was 17 and he 19, young and stupid. He married her, got out of the army 2 months before I gave birth, and moved back to Texas. So he moved to Texas and she stayed in Kentucky. So that right there is like, okay, that doesn't ring. Plus, she's saying that I guess she spoke to him when he went to jail the first time, but she has spent every year since 97 trying to find him. We broke up when I was 7 months pregnant in 95. I couldn't locate him. I used social security number and still nothing. In 2013, I looked again, and this time I found him and my heart shattered. I never stopped loving him. even during my 13-year marriage that ended in 2015. I found him because
I don't want to interrupt you,
I'm
but this
sorry.
sounds like something you're reading. Is this a message
Yes,
that she sent to you?
These are DMs. I can send them to you. I'm not making it
No,
up.
I just wanted to give
I've
the
posted
audience perspective.
all these are posted out.
Okay.
Anybody can go into Discord, Shiz's Discord under screenshots under Reaper, and they can see them all. I've let everybody.
You can feel free to post those to my Discord as well if you'd like in the general section.
All right, I'll have to get a link for your Discord. Okay.
I just wanted to give people perspective of what you're reading. Sorry, you can continue.
Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I should have told you that.
Okay.
Where was I at? Oh yeah, I found him because he was listed. I found him because he was listed as graduating the seminary as a minister at Darrington Unit Prison in Texas. Then she said she looked up his prison profile and it said capital murder. And she said she was never one to judge, so I figured one day I'd find out what happened. I knew him better than anyone, and I knew something wasn't right. I followed his arrest and court records, and none could be found. I hired a lawyer, and nothing was. He didn't find anything. But where's the part I wanted to tell you? Basically,
that's okay. Find your spot, and while you find your spot, I'm just gonna say, anybody else who wants to call in, feel free. I'll put the link in there one more time. I hope that Tara decides to call in again. I know she said she was going to when I spoke to her before, but I don't want this to be a one-sided thing. And anything that people are saying, I'd love for her to come in and just say her piece as well, because I'm not on anyone's side. I'm on everyone's side. So it's not that I'm not on it, but I'm on everyone's side. Yeah. I am an outsider to this community, and I don't know you all well enough to pick a side. I just am seeking the truth. That's all. So.
Oh yeah, I can't find it.
It's just tell me from your memory.
Really, just a little upset. That's all. Just everything that's going on with her and what she said and the actual court records.
So do you feel scammed because of what happened? Is that, it sounds like you do.
I do, because when she tells you, the marriage license was $87, and we were getting off the DMs, and I was like, you know what? And she told me, how she was doing financially and stuff. So I wanted to help her out. So I told her before she went to bed, I said, hey, look at your PayPal. And she went and got it. And she's like, oh my God, and I was like, and then she asked me, I'll repay. And I said, no, I said something like 3 or 4 words, like maybe, never, sometime, don't worry about it, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, basically, you don't have to. So I never asked for the money back. But after I find out that other people are giving her money for the same thing for the marriage license, then I'm like, well, if I gave you the $87 for the marriage license, why are you asking other people for the marriage license? So that was one thing that started the snowball down. But what I was trying to find here, and if I can find it, I'll send it to you. But when she had finally contacted him in 2022, that was the first time she spoke with him.
Yeah.
He opened up and told her everything. That was her exact words. I wish I could just. I'm just a little nervous and a little upset.
No, I totally understandable.
I've got so many to go through. If you want to go to somebody else or bring somebody else in and put me to the back, you could do that until I find it.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you like to do that. Yeah, let somebody else come up so they can talk.
I think one of the things that gets me is I'm Christian, and I really believe that there's hope for redemption for every single person. But lying about it, I don't know if it's him that hasn't completely grasped what happened and is still lying about it, or if it's just her. But I really hope and I pray for him and his soul,
Yeah.
So let me bring Frog up, and then I'll come back to you. Okay.
Oh, that's no problem.
All right.
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Let me know if I've got an echo.
No, you sound fine to me.
Okay, good. Do you know who I am?
don't. I'm sorry.
That's good. No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
After Shiz ran her live stream the other week,
Uh-huh.
I had a static on the story to go because I got in contact with Shiz before she broke the story
Okay.
because the murder interested me. I come from the following of auditor community, so that's where I'm from.
Well, if that's you
Sorry?
channel, so you should subscribe if you like the murder stuff.
Yeah, no, I did quite like it. Yeah. So that was, but I'm a fairly an outlier, although I've got I think over 5K subscribers now.
Awesome.
I don't take donations.
Mhm.
I don't do anything like that because on the people we report on, I see lots of cons, but I'm also seeing the odd one creeping in on the people who report on auditors. And I hadn't heard anything about Frauditor Reaper really, but the murder struck me, and then I heard more and more, and I thought, no, I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound right. Doesn't pass the sniff test.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what's interesting me. I thought you did a very good job today.
Thank you.
I think to my knowledge, you're the third person. So there's you, me, and me and Chiz that have basically run. Oh no, Cody's done a stream as well. So there's more than three. But
I do know.
It's official. Sorry.
I do know that there are some bigger, like I'm not really in the frauditor community. I'm in the true crime community.
Mm-hmm.
And I do know there's some bigger true crime YouTubers who watch my stream or watch my show on my channel. And hopefully one of them will see this and cover this as a video, an actual YouTube video. But this case is unknown right now.
I know. And the surprise, you hit the same thing that I did, was why isn't there anything in Real County about this murder? It was a young mother of two very young children, a vicious murder, and there's no news. And then I think, well, there's hardly anyone who lives there, and that's probably the reason why. And it's just around the time when the internet was coming alive.
Even so, I looked into there's. This is a small town, but usually small towns, I live in North Georgia. I live in a small town in North Georgia, but if something happens in my town, the Atlanta local news covers it, or Chattanooga, I'm like halfway in between both, will cover it, or a local newspaper, anything. I could find no local newspaper articles. I could find no, I always look for archived news footage, like local news footage. I could find zero about this case. Nothing. So,
and I know Shiz has been criticised for having some sort of feud with Frauditor Reaper, but I think all Shiz wanted to do was to find out the truth, like you've wanted to do, like I've wanted to do. And when you read the report right the way through, it doesn't match with some of the stories that have been told. So someone's lying.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and like I was saying, I think to Only Frauds, I really want the truth to get out there because that's the only way to heal. And I'm not talking about healing, and it is true for the victims as well. But when you are the person who either committed a crime or a sin, for lack of better words, and it's affected other people, the only way for you to heal and be right with God is to tell the truth and ask for forgiveness. And I know probably most of the people here are not religious, but I am, and I truly believe even if you murder somebody, you can get into heaven if you are truly remorseful and repent. So that's just where I'm coming from.
Yeah, my partner is very religious,
Mhm.
and there was an affair that came to light in her immediate family. We were all very religious. She spoke about this. Well, if you repent, you should mean it.
Absolutely.
And so, how can you continue to go to repent but continue to commit the sin time after time after time? Now, that one, I'm not. I mean, you as a Christian can maybe answer that.
Yeah, I mean, the point is we're all sinners. It's just a matter of, like, there's a scale, obviously. There's somebody who steals a pack of gum from the Walmart, and then there's, Robert here who brutally murdered a young woman in front of her best friend, but it doesn't matter how big the sin is, and it doesn't matter if you are asking for forgiveness from people here on earth. The person you need to get forgiveness from is God. So the lies are what really got me in this one. The fact that he was not honest with her, meaning Robert was not honest with Tara, makes me think that maybe he's not repentant, because if he was, he would be open and honest about it.
And I note that you didn't get the police report for where his car was involved.
I did not. I saw that on a Discord, but
because again, I mean, it's only a small lie, but it's quite a, it's a lie.
It is.
She's saying the car was stolen, but the police report is saying that he let his friends borrow it for $100.
Yeah, I thought you meant. Yeah, no, I did ask her at the time. She said that there was a police report, and I asked her when I talked to her the other day to send it to me, and I have not received it.
Yeah.
So, and it seems like she said it was at his dad's house, and I'll see if I can get him to send it to me. But it's not like, just take a photo of it. You don't even have to scan. You don't even have to figure all that out. Everybody has a camera in their pocket, in the internet in their pocket. Just take a picture of it and send it to me.
Well, apparently she's spoken to the sheriff. So she knows that it would be so easy to get that other police report herself rather than going and photographing it at Robbie's parents' house.
Yeah.
It's an easily obtained document.
Yeah.
And that's what she doesn't seem to have done, is to obtain the documents. I think that, well, I would advise anyone who's thinking of marrying a capital murderer to find out as much as you can about the crime that he committed before you.
That's another thing, is she said that she tried to get the records and even hired a lawyer to do so, which I'm not sure if I believe, because I'm just a YouTuber and I was able to get the records real easy. So I'm sure a lawyer would have better, probably get it faster than I could. But so I don't believe that happened. I'll just be honest. But what I did want to say is, Tara, if you're still listening, if you send me that stolen vehicle report that you say exists, I will post it to my community page. I will put it out there on my Discord. So if that is true and you just forgot to send it or didn't get it yet, when you do get it, send it to me and I will make sure everyone knows that that's true.
Yeah. And, the story about him being forced into a confession and the DA didn't think they had enough. Well, from that police report, they probably had enough.
Well, I didn't even get into the forensics and stuff. There was, because there was a confession, so there's no need to. But this report there's blood evidence. There's witness statements, and not just Michelle's, many witness statements. There's blood evidence, there's fingerprint, it's all there. It was definitely a capital murder. It was planned out and it was, completed.
I know we've all done our own different things, but that's where I started. When I started on my talking about the crime, I was putting him at the scene.
Yeah. So
I started with the witnesses that put him at the scene immediately after the crime. Well, at the time the crime was being committed. And the attack, well, did he attack the neighbor? Yes. And then the neighbor hit him with the flashlight, sorry.
That's okay. My family's from, I assume you're from England. Is that right?
Yes, I'm afraid so.
My family is in Bolton, England, just north of Manchester. So,
And someone said in chat, "Can you read me a bedtime story?" I do get that from time to time. I'm sorry.
You have the same accent as my grandfather did before he passed away, and it's very nostalgic for me to hear you speak right now.
Anyhow, have you got someone else?
I do. I have Jerry, and then Only Frauds is going to come back on. But I do want to stay in touch with you because I need to get your channel so I can go back and watch what you said about this case.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna subscribe to you. You can get my channel off Shiz.
I'm gonna put my Discord link in the chat again now too.
Yeah, I'll pick that up and send you a DM on Discord then.
Awesome.
Okay. Right. Cheers. Thanks for having me out.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's see if Jerry's working yet, and then I'll come back to you, Only Frauds. Hang on though, because your mic or Jerry's mic might not work. So, Jerry.
Hey.
That sounds
how am I doing?
Better. So, what did you want to say about this case, or about any of the characters involved in this case?
Well, now that all the people that I wanted to compliment came up, I hope they're still here. I'll start off with Frog because he was the last one here. I love Frog in his channel.
Speak a little slower. Hello?
I love the Frog channel because he is very good at finding.
Not that, Jerry. Come on, not that slow. It's just you were talking and I couldn't understand you. So just talk at a normal pace, but slow it down, man. That's all.
Okay. No, the Frog is cool. I love Frog. Yeah. And Shiz, the stuff that she did is really cool, really nice. And you, of course, bringing it. I think 100%. I love what you did. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
That's okay with you. Proud of you, but I really did like what you did, and Shiz and everybody did a great job. But for me, this case, and it's funny because all this stuff that's been going on the side, for me, this has always been about Genevieve Finn. When I heard the story, when Shiz, brought me a few of those reports and stuff like that, I immediately thought about a friend who was helping her friend. It's through all that other stuff that people. I wanted this to be brought up because this woman was trying to help her friend, get out of an abusive, relationship.
Yeah.
She put herself on the line and she did the ultimate sacrifice to make sure that her friend was safe. And that to me is the most important part of everything. Like, it's funny because, all this other stuff comes out, but it's like, I could care less about all of that. To me, it's about Genevieve Finn, and rest in peace to her. I mean, what a great friend to, not only take in her friend when she was being abused, but to take this man's murderous rampage. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's what it was about for me, and that's the only thing I ever cared about. I mean, all the other stuff is like, people can, speculate about who or what I am or whatever. I always try to be honest 100% because I don't like going through these things. I don't like going through circles. I don't like having the same conversations over and over again.
Yeah.
I like to, if you make a mistake, own up to it, say sorry, and move on.
Absolutely.
I think that's the easiest thing to do. So I don't hate anybody. Just for the record, I don't hate anybody. If people want to be good and people that, they can be trusted and people can still talk to them and stuff like that, you can still do that. But just show that, you're wrong. Yeah. When you show you're wrong and you're remorseful for it, anybody can give you forgiveness,
Absolutely.
It's what I do. But yeah, I mean, like I said, to me, this is all about Genevieve Finn. I think she was heroic. I think that she has. I mean, I hope that more people, get to hear her story and get out there because she was very heroic in what she did, and what a great friend.
Absolutely. Okay, now we just need to get you a better microphone and a setup so we can have you on more often because right now
Good news.
Yikes.
Good news. I had good news. I had a fundraiser. The goal got met, and I'll be having tech, guys. I'll be having a desktop with a mic and all that stuff. It is coming soon. You guys will hear me.
Amazing. We're going to put Jerry's links. If somebody could throw Jerry's link in the chat so we can get him to 500 subs, I would appreciate that too. Thanks so much for coming on, Jerry. I appreciate it. And I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, great job. Great job. Thank you.
And thanks for bringing this case to my attention. I appreciate that.
You got it.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. You're back.
I'm still here. Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Jerry's right. It's about Genevieve. But I also want to, expose, I guess, Reaper.
Okay.
For all the lies, I guess. I mean, I don't know what to believe anymore, but I can't believe her when she says that she didn't know and she just found out about the truth, because according to her, when she first met him or spoke with him after so long in 2022, that he told her everything.
Yeah.
But she said that they have only talked little bits about it. He's opened up a little bit about it.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that, and then, let's see. So she said, I guess this is the part I wanted to tell you.
Okay.
She said, I waited until our daughter, I'm not saying the name, contacted him 2020. Though I didn't find out until February 22nd. Yeah, when he first called me on March 6, 2022, after since we were not talking, he told me everything. And I've since verified it with his family. And trust me, his family is an important part of this. So, and then she's also mentioning here a few more down. She goes, I know the story is true because I spoke with his cousin's widow and parents. That's just,
well, I think that's another thing that I forgot to touch on. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's no familial blood relation, I should say, between Genevieve and Robert. I believe the relationship is that Genevieve had a child with Robert's cousin. So, and I'm not sure, I couldn't find if they were actually married at the time or if it was just a boyfriend-girlfriend type situation, but it's not necessarily a lie. It's just not the total truth.
Yeah, it's not Genevieve. Exactly.
Also, it specifically was said the pronouns he, as if Robert had killed a male cousin, and obviously Genevieve is not a male.
Yeah, there was 3 times. I'm sorry, there was 3 times in our DMs where she had mentioned he and his.
Exactly.
So, but she also told me, she's like, after I kind of confronted her, she's like, well, I've never said it was what gender they were, if it was a male or female. I'm like, you said it 3 times. And she's like, well, I sometimes I could misspoke or mistype. I'm just like, and it just bothers me. I just knowing all this, and then
it's not that killing a male would be any better, but I think in people's minds, if a man fights with a man, it's just not as bad. Or if a man kills a man, it's not as bad as if a man kills a woman or a child. And it's the differences. There's a discrepancy in power in those situations. Women are smaller and weaker. No matter how badass the woman is, there's a man that's more badass and stronger. So
I don't know what to. I don't know if she knew the truth to begin with, if he told her, and then this is something she decided she wanted to make up for, if somebody asked, and to make it easier on herself to think, okay, I will go with this story. I don't know if that's it or not. Right now, I just don't believe. I believe that she knew, and she just made this up for a story, for if somebody asked or just to get some sympathy. I hate to say that, but that's just.
Well, I don't understand why to bring it up in the first. There's several things that Miss Frauditor Reaper has brought up that just didn't need to be brought up at all. The history of her husband, or even that he's in prison at all, except to ask for money, I guess. Like
Yeah.
I think at one point she was selling his artwork, which I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with people who are in prison. Actually, I have I'll put this link in the description after the show, but I interviewed a gentleman who murdered a man when he was 17 years old. The man was older, but he was 17 when it happened. And I interviewed him, and he truly is remorseful.
Yeah.
And he was open enough to come on my show and talk about it. There's a difference there,
Yes, no, there is. Yeah.
So
yeah, I didn't reach out to her for the story. She gave it to me.
That's what I mean. And then there's a shoplifting incident that she spoke about. She didn't need to bring that up at all. She could have kept that a secret, but she brought it up on her channel, and then people looked into it. And it just, you didn't need to bring it up at all, is what my point is.
Yeah. I now that I look back at it, a lot of things start clicking in my head. Like, I'd met her through, I think, Frauditor Wrangler, and we'd become kind of talking and friends and stuff. We'd talk back and forth. I'd go to her channel and stuff. And I had an incident with a loser of a father frauditor where I was scammed out of money, kind of. It was, I asked his top mod if she would match my donation to him, I would give him the money. And she said that she would. So I sent him the money. Come to find out, she didn't. She said that she couldn't do it. She told him she couldn't do it, but she said, I will try to trick him into sending it first. So
wow,
that was a whole big story. And
so she actually used the word tricked. So,
Yeah. I put all those I put all those things out in the video and everything. I've been upfront with everybody so they can read them. But it was the very next day, Reaper contacted me just to ask me how I was doing. I didn't think anything of it, she said not to worry about my subscribers, I've told them I had a stern talk with them, not to be mad at you for what you did. And I told her, not to worry about it. So she contacted me the very next day and was basically like, I'm sorry you got manipulated and all this stuff. And then went into about, I can't understand how all these frauditors get all this money. And here I am barely making it. And, don't have money to do this and do that. And then that's when she went in and she was like, I think I can trust you with this. And said, the story with Robbie. I said, I know a little bit, or about being reunited. I said, yeah, I know you guys reunited after 26 years. And then she went into how she found him and then went into the story. I just want to let it know. I never asked. I even told her, I said, I'm ears. Only do this if you want to. I will not be offended one bit if you choose not to. So I didn't go out asking what happened. She sent it to me. And then after all this started, it just started in my head like, well, was she really cared about what I did? Or was she just stepping in that door to get sympathy and money?
Yeah.
I want to think that she didn't, that she actually cared. A part of me thinks she did, but a part of me thinks there was some other intention in there also.
It seems like it.
So that's about it. I mean, there's a lot more, but I just, my brain is going 100 miles an hour right now. I just, and then hearing the story about Genevieve, when I found that out with Shiz, I lost it. I just don't understand how a man could do that. First beat on your wife, and then she goes to get away from
that's
you.
Allegedly. I don't know for sure.
I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize. Goes to stay with a friend to get away for whatever reason. And he decides that, you know what? I'm just going to off her friend and kidnap her, which I believe he probably would have ended up killing her too.
Well, that's
I had a feeling. I mean, that's my opinion on it.
That's my opinion as well.
Yeah.
But it's like I said, allegedly my
Yeah, it's okay.
opinion.
Yeah.
I think that he was going to kidnap her to torture her before he killed
Yes.
her. Mainly because of the supplies that he had with him and the
And the
letters combined makes me think that that was his plan. Because he
Yeah.
was planning on making her disappear forever.
Mhm.
Like it
Mhm.
wasn't like he wasn't going to take her to Georgia and drop her off. Like I don't
Exactly.
think that. Yeah. So
Well, and the belt with her name on it. That's just
Well,
that's beyond.
I was thinking about that, and it was the 90s. So
Mhm.
I'm wondering if it was just a
One of those
belt
belts.
that
Yeah.
had her name on it, like that, you buy.
Yeah, I had one. Yeah, I had one when I was a
Exactly.
kid.
And it just happened to be the one with her name on it, or if he
Mhm.
like wrote it on there with a permanent marker or something.
Yeah, they
It
didn't say
doesn't
that
say one
exactly.
way or the other. So just for the benefit of the doubt, I want to
Mhm.
say it was like written with rhinestones or something like decorative,
Mhm.
her name on there.
Mhm. But still to bring it, just that specific belt with her
Yeah.
name on it, it's like just an added. Oh man.
Hold on. Cena, get your spot. Come on. My co-host was trying to leave.
I know mine was trying to bark.
I did have one more donation, so I need her in her spot. So when we're done talking, I can give her her milk bone.
More treats. Dang.
Yeah.
Good
I
Lord.
do appreciate everyone who donated, by the way. I usually, with super chats, it's really easy. So to get people to go to a separate app to donate, you have no idea. And like, it's different. And I'm not trying to justify or whatever, but this is a hobby, and any money that people donate goes back into this hobby. I'm not trying to live off of the money I make
Yes,
from
me neither.
YouTube. I'm not trying to buy a marriage certificate or groceries or whatever the things are that
Yeah.
people are, medical bills, all of those things that have been said before on Tara's channel of why she needs money. Every single dollar that's donated, they bought me this Shure microphone, which is a great microphone. Before I was
Yes.
using an $18 mic from Amazon, it had sounded like poop.
Yeah.
I have a actual setup with lights and stuff now. So I think there's a difference when people say, hey, if you want to donate, it helps. What it helps is the show get better,
Exactly.
So
mine all goes to my dogs, and it went to my last dog that passed away that 2 weeks ago. It went
I'm
towards
so
her.
sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a little rough. I've got her ashes over here in the box next to me with her name on it, but
It's
expensive
expensive to
different.
have a dog
It is.
pass away. We lost
is.
our German Shepherd last October,
Mhm.
and that was tough. He was my husband's partner, actually. My husband was a canine handler,
Oh,
and when my husband got back from Afghanistan, it was Afghanistan, Fritz was retiring at the same time. So we actually still had to purchase him from the government.
exactly. Yeah, you got to buy them. Yep, you got to purchase them.
It was like $4,000. I've never spent, like, we adopt all our dogs, but he was trained. Obviously, he was explosive detection dog plus tracking. They always have two jobs. Mainly, he was an explosive detection dog. But because this dog saved my husband's life many times, it was just really rough when we lost him.
Oh yeah. How old was he?
He was 13, I think.
Yeah, so was mine. 13.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's a good boy. Good dog.
She was awesome. Yep.
So I really, I feel your pain of having just lost a dog a couple of weeks ago. So
I've got my chat or my channel and all my subs and everything. They've been great. They're just awesome. I just love them all.
Yeah.
It's been great. I just started this just to have fun with frauditors and to make fun of them. And it's just gone. I just had my 1,000 subscriber thing yesterday or the other day. It might have been yesterday. I don't remember.
Amazing. Congratulations. That's
thank you.
Big deal. Did it drive you nuts though that they switched it back to 500 sub? I worked so hard to get to 1,000 to get monetized, and then
they put
2
it back
months
to
later
5.
they switched it.
Well, when you hit the 5 now, you only get to do memberships and super chats. You still have to get the 1,000 to get monetized.
Well, I never monetized any of my videos anyway because it's about non-advertiser friendly stuff. It's the
Yeah.
memberships. When I got demonetized this last time,
That's
it's the first time that I actually had members. It's the first time I had people actually saying, "You are good enough for me to send you $5."
I know exactly. Me
You
too.
know?
I'm like, I must be
Yeah.
doing something right for him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, thank your husband for his service. That's awesome.
Thank you.
I
We
appreciate
should
that.
we should collab sometime for sure. I enjoy talking to
Yeah,
you.
I'm still a little kind of shy on this thing, so but
Okay.
I'm getting a little better. But yeah,
Okay. Well, you're
yeah,
good at it, so you're
I'm
good at
trying.
talking.
I'm trying.
If anybody, I'm gonna let you go, and
Yep.
we'll talk again soon, I'm sure.
Yes, no problem. Thank you, Katie. I appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
If anybody else wants to get in here, this is your last chance. I will put the link one more time. If not, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna say a couple of more things because there's still a lot of people here who are new to my channel. The first thing is the music that you heard at the beginning of the stream and that you're about to hear at the end of the stream is by a gentleman named Stephen Ignoramus. He's been on my channel before, and he creates this music. It's written and performed by him, and I really enjoy it. He also wrote me a song that is in the process. It's already been cut in the studio, and it's just being remixed, or I don't know how they make music, whatever they do after they record it. So that should be out soon. Somebody named Bad in the chat said, BS, you wouldn't have known about her husband if she didn't bring it up first. That is correct. That's what I was saying, is that she didn't need to bring it up at all. So if she didn't want people looking into it, she shouldn't have brought it up. I'm kind of sad that Tara didn't call in because I didn't want this to become one-sided. I was trying to keep it neutral. I'm like Switzerland over here, guys. I'm trying to keep it neutral and just telling the truth. So I really was hoping that she would call in at the end to kind of combat all of the things that people had called in and said. I'm not trying to go after anybody. I'm not trying to, crap on anybody. I just wanted to. Hopefully I'm doing that all the time. Right? Let me just check the manual copy one time and then we'll wrap it up. I appreciate the people who donated today. Randall, Mo, Kelly, and Salacious. 4 people donated today, which is amazing for me because I usually get like maybe one person, usually none. But I do this because I love it, not for the money. Like I said before, all the money that happens or that comes in from viewers like you goes directly into the setup. Most recently, I bought this new tripod. I'll show you guys. This is the last thing that I bought with the money you guys donated. I got a tripod for the Xenacam. Oh, there it is. So Xena got her own tripod now. Oh, I have somebody else called in. Coded. I guess we're taking one more call, guys. One more call. Anyway, point being, thank you very much for buying Xena her own tripod. And I actually can move it around now without too much effort. I'm going to get Coded in here. Hello, Coded. Nice. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, KT. Beautiful job today.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to give a shout out to Shiz.
Absolutely.
Who, for me and a bunch of other people, did a lot of background checking and homework and really broke this open and helped get the truth out to people. So I just wanted to give a shout out to her, and I wanted to compliment you on the job you did today.
Thank you. And I was told by Tara that it was that these documents were obtained fraudulently somehow. Which is why I reached out to the police department myself to get them, because I did not want to do something illegal. I'm not, I'm an innocent angel. I don't do illegal stuff. But just so everyone knows, whatever Shiz got from the police department is legit. She did not get it illegally at all. They sent me the exact same documents.
Thank you for bringing that up, because that was one of Tara's main arguments against the truthful information that Shiz was presenting in trying to bring information to our community and help
Mhm.
people understand what was going on.
That's the other thing I heard, that the documents that Shiz presented were somehow altered in some way, and they were altered. They were redacted so that way her husband's social security number and people's names were not out there. That's the only thing that I found that was altered. Everything else was word for word. Even down to when they made the copy, you can see where the 3 hole punches were, and there's a line from the copier going down it. Exactly the same.
Yep, exactly. I saw the same information that
Yeah.
Shiz has. So you did a wonderful job today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, too. And I actually listened to your live stream that you did about this maybe a week or 2 ago, and I appreciate you digging into. You read off a lot of comments and things from comment sections and things like that. So I appreciate you doing that.
Great, great, great. I'm glad to hear you're a listener.
Yeah,
Reach-
well, that's the first one that I listened to, but I subscribed, so I'll be back. You can't
Cool,
get
cool,
rid of me
cool.
that easy.
That's great. I'm not, just so you know, I'm not for the faint of heart. I'm pretty raw.
I know some of the language that you use. I've been meaning to talk to you, but I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I can handle it. I just don't like it on my channel. That's all.
You can. I try my best to curb it when I'm at other people's places, but I do allow myself that liberty when I'm under my own roof.
It is, well, and that's the other thing, as I was going to say, is the way I see it is this is my living room right here. I can allow or disallow anybody here. I rent this living room from YouTube, so they're the landlord. This is my apartment, and you are welcome in it until you're not. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Cool.
thank you so much for calling in. Is there anything else you wanted to say about any of the characters that we talked about today?
Nah, that's it. I mean, I did like you said, you listened to it. I did a
Mhm.
live stream. I've said what I need to say about
Wonderful.
what transpired here.
Definitely, if you're interested in this case, go check out that live stream at Coded's channel. If somebody, Salacious is my go-to gal. Could you link that in the chat? I would appreciate it.
I don't think Salacious likes me. I might know her from somewhere else.
Oh.
I may be confusing her with somebody else. So, yeah, there are a lot of people that don't cotton to me.
I'm sure there's people that don't like me either. It just means you're doing something right.
Well, I would say, based on your presentation, that your universe of listeners is much greater than mine.
You mean greater as in more? Because probably not. Greater as in better quality people? Probably not either.
No, I'm just talking potential outreach. I think.
Oh, gotcha.
Your presentation is going to be a lot more appealing to more people than mine's for a very niche market.
Gotcha. You hear that, guys? That means you should subscribe right now and hit the like button. There's a lot of new, there's more people here than I've ever had in a live before. So definitely subscribe. Appreciate it.
if you're one of my subs, help KT out. Give her a sub.
Thank you.
I've listened to a couple of your back broadcasts. I like what you do.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you in the next one. You're always welcome to come on and say a few words at the end as well.
I will come around again. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Coded. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's it, guys. That's all she wrote. I'm going to end this. Next week, we're doing, let me tell you what's coming up. I forgot about that. I always forget to say the like, share, and subscribe thing. So yes, do that. And then what's coming up next week. So next week, we have a Crimeland episode because I spent so much time. The last 2 cases that I did was this one and then the Leo Frank one, which is just such tons and tons of research, just like piles and piles of research. So I need a break from the research right now. So we're going to do a Crimeland episode. If you don't know, my Overruled episodes, which is what you're watching right now, is a deep dive case on one subject, one incident, a murder, some sort of crime. It's one crime we go over. The Crimeland is more current events, quick hitting. I usually don't even watch them ahead of time. People put them in my Discord, these news stories about crime, and I just live react to them. That's it. Following that case, we have Sky King coming up. Do you guys know who Sky King is? Sky King is a guy who stole an airplane, and I should say it's a fun crime. Nobody died but the Sky King, so it's not about a murder or anything like that. So it's a little more lighthearted than we usually cover on this channel. Definitely more lighthearted than this episode was. Yeah, the only person who died was the Sky King. He stole an airplane, and it's a very interesting story. I'm going to have Stephen Ignoramus on for that. He is one of my best friends and is definitely coming on my show for that. Yes, Bebo, Mo knows. Bebo Russell is his name. So we're going to do that show. Speaking of Steven, he does my intro and my outro music. So give him a follow. Links are down below, his SoundCloud, his YouTube, all of that sort of stuff. And that's it. That's all she wrote. Thank you so much for coming out. I hope to see you next time on the Katie Zed channel. Have a great day, guys.
First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man, Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, I'm a bagoso. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto.
Looking for new drills, needed a new track of land. I used to dig the Simpsons, man. Bumping Biggie, Pop, Smash Mouth, and Simple Plan. No scrubs for the crease in my pimples, damn. From the south streets of southeast Michigan, hitting shuffle till I settled on a different jam. And when a dime won't do, a better nickel can. And let me tell you, when I used to dig them Simpsons, man. A funny thing about time, you can't get it back. A tight grip, but it rips the jacket. Slight lisp with a mix of traffic. You see about me, like Mr. Glass, always wished I was a whiz at graphics. Take me back to the past where the hits were massive. You could hear Gladys Knight and the Pips on plastic. Misfit molasses. Delete my contacts just so I can stick to glasses. Feel that skipped out, so I miss the classics. Aristotle of the bottle, Seneca of the sinful action, senator of the simple maxim. I swear for a skillful Saxon, I'm still relaxing. Who wanna take a dip in the mind sauce, making up for the time lost, forgetting all my past was when I sign off. Prime bribe, prime rib, Agent Smith, crime boss, popping red pills till my mind's off, mind's off.
First Florida man. First Florida man. Hernando de Soto. First Florida man. Was Hernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out your Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Brought to my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, I'm a bagoso. Jump in them sinkies and dump them mimosos. The first Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto.
Threw up that blue pill, moved to a new track. I slew the foothills of that voodoo sap. Microfiche tape decks, I'll sift through that, cause I'll do anything to get the old Simpsons back. Give me the news that make my mood react. I'll swim through the sewer just to make it to the truth intact. And you can shine up that voodoo with new shellac. I'll still do anything to get the old Simpsons back. Imagine thinking Karl Marx is new school Klingon like Huzu. They welcome the ways they can bring on the boots, dude. Declare a major, they get paid to pollute you. Self-ashamed neighbors never gaze when they scoop you. I wonder how we fight it. The 6th step is never enter in my tent uninvited. The 5th step is produce, no skills is no use. 4th step community preference is unity. 3rd step is nation, it's somewhat location, mostly relations, that's the situation. Next step, family, patriarchal sanity. Safe under the canopy, ain't a place for anarchy. First step, I just got to say it, no showboat. Step back and soak up the logos.
First Florida man. Hernando de Soto. First Florida man was Hernando de Soto. Won't you so loco? Show off your photos, throw out them Twinkies, throw up your ho-hos, tuck in them pinkies. Them shits a no-no. The first Florida
they so dope. Under my attention by the man with the mojo. My 8 subscriber, Yama Bagosa. First Florida man was Hernandez, they so dope.